What's up, guys? It's Real Pain back with another figure review. Today I'm gonna have a look at more Kamen Rider. I don't know why it says Masked Rider on the box, but anyway, this is Kamen Rider, Masked Rider, G-4 from Kamen Rider Agito, the series. I am, like I mentioned in previous videos, not a Kamen Rider connoisseur. I'm a fan. I haven't really seen much of it, because I don't really have time. I don't really have time to invest in it. But way back, like a couple of years ago, I was like, you know what? I want to have some figures of it because they look absolutely amazing. And back then, I chose one series and one series only I wanted to get figures from, which, you know, kind of branched out in the last couple of years. But back then, I was like, Kamen Rider Agito has some of the best designs I've ever seen in all these figures. So now we're continuing the trend, and I got G4. Basically, that's the story. That's the box. Let's have a look at the figure. Police, get the fuck down. My name is G4. Hello, how are you doing? So, man, I gotta say, I really like the slick black. It's a very, very nice paint job overall. But before I even get into that, I should look at the size of this guy. So he's about 14.5 centimeters to the top of his head and almost 15.5 centimeters to the top of his antennas, if you want to look at it that way. So that's basically a little over 6 inches or a little under 6 inches, depending on where I look at. So yeah, head under 6 inches and antennas over 6 inches. And I have the detail on the inches. I did those myself. I put those myself on there, alright? So overall detail in the armor is pretty nice. First of all, you got the metallic in the silver going on, it's nice and shiny all around. He kind of reminds me of what was that one called? The evil guy from Big Bad Beetleborgs. I mean, right? He was like all black, and he had kind of like the bug theme going on with the antennas. He had a different face and everything, but still kind of reminiscent of that. I wonder if they took some parts, because they also made a figure of that, which I don't have, but I've seen it. Anyhow, so yeah, big fan of the eyes. Got like a nice little blue detail going on the helmet, and just all the metallic stuff going on over there. Also have like particles in there, so that's also metallic paint job. Wow, pretty much all of it. I mean, you can see kind of like the particles going on over there. I thought it was just the gray, but apparently it's all of it. Got some more red in the back. Got the belt, and there's a lot of detail going on in there. Whatever the hell this is, probably like a morpher stuff. Morpher thingy. Kamen Rider activate. It's probably not what they're saying, because it's in Japanese, first of all. Second of all, I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. So, then I got the rest of the sculpt. There's really, and the whole stuff for the gun. There's really a lot going on here, and I love it. I'm already a fan of it. So, articulation-wise, let's see what this guy got. So, first and foremost, the head doesn't really go forward that much. It goes back, though. You have a lot of space in the back, and it goes side to side a little bit. Gets the job done nicely. And, of course, you have the neck, which gets some more wiggle motion, back and forth, side to side. Got some decent stuff out of that. Then we got the hinge connected to the shoulder, and we basically have the same tech, which we've seen before. Kind of like a peg. A hinge over there, which pegs into the arm, so you can rotate it around. Which, I know, this is pre-owned, by the way, just like the other ones. It's already a little bit loose. I'm wondering if that's because it's pre-owned, or if that's just how it is. But anyway, I mean, it gets the job done. You have a bicep swivel over here. You got the double-hinged elbow going up like that, and you have a face that's fairly limited because it doesn't have any range here like this. There's no room for range, basically. But it goes around, and just this little much. So then at the torso, it's kind of interesting. You have this entire piece as one piece. There's nothing going on in here, but because of that, they let a lot of space, a lot of free space down here at the hips, basically. So he goes back and forth nicely, and side to side, and pretty much would go all around. I mean, I'm not going to force it too much right now, but it gets good motion, good grades on there. And then the lower part doesn't really It only just kind of wiggles around. There's not really coming that much out of there. And then the legs, first of all, this piece is connected to the belt. And it's soft plastic, so you can kind of lift this up. Goes forward nicely. Doesn't really go back because of the butt. And goes out to the side. You have a rotate, you have a swivel over here. I mean, you can swivel it around. Can rotate it around, and then we got the nice little knee joint with the double hinged knee pad, and the foot goes forward, back, and has the ankle rocker, which is still kind of stiff. Once again, those are die-cast feet. I don't know if I already mentioned them, but there you go. And then you have a toe hinge. And that's the articulation. Let's go over to the accessories. So first and foremost, there you got your hands. They look very nice, nice metallic. Yeah, a lot of open hands, really posing hands, and a tighter grip with this one. Although they're both trigger hands. Never mind, never mind. So yeah, lots of posing. And you got, of course, this gun. With this part, this is removable. I don't know why, because it leaves a hole. But there you go. You can take the scope off. I'll just leave that on for now. But yeah, gun-wise, there's a little bit of detail going on. No color really, but I guess that's the mold. I mean, that's how it's supposed to look like. But now we get to the good part. He comes with 4 identical rockets. But what's even better about that, he has a thing to store them rockets. Basically a rocket launcher, if you like. So, first of all, if the camera would focus, there's some packs in there. So you can put your rockets in the launcher, all 4 of them. Just kind of pack that in there. And kaboom! Now you can go to war. I like this. I like this! Big fucking gun! This guy has rockets. Armed and dangerous. There's nothing really to launch these things out. I kind of looked at it, maybe. But there's not... I mean, action features is not really you get something with SH Figuarts. And I'm okay with that, you know, don't really care about that too much. Right, so you got this part. You can open this, and you have a little plasticky wire going down. And kind of pack this in here. If my camera would start... camera is kind of like focusing, unfocusing. It's kind of going crazy. So I have this wire going down to our boy, and he has in his belt another place to put that. Michael Bay would be so proud. Alright, Michael Bay Kamen Rider G4 film confirmed right here, right now. But yeah, that's it for the accessories. Boom! Alright guys, time for the final thoughts on Kamen Rider G4. What do I think about this figure? First of all, one thing to note, he doesn't really hold the rockets. Fairly loose in there. It's probably more for the gun, which has a hole for the pack that stays in there super well, super tightly. But overall, this figure looks good. Looks great actually, I like it. And you got good articulation, and I like the rocket pack. So it's executed very well. So basically what I'm saying is, I do recommend this. There's not really anything I can see here that would be a flaw. Unless you want to tell me like, maybe overall likeness, because I'm not super familiar with these Kamen Riders, because I haven't seen the original show. He looks... I mean, he actually looks better. I've seen some pictures, but I think the figure looks better than he actually looked in the show, because in some parts he kind of looked like very fake around here. And it's just kind of pulsed it too much. So yeah, that's my take on it. If you agree or disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. And as usual guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, feel free to hit it up with a like. And maybe subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, gameplay stuff, and whatever Kamen Rider G4 wants. Bang!